All right, I gotta switch into my usual sort of outfit here. I was just, this is the same shirt I wore yesterday, actually. I was out on a trail this afternoon. Absolutely amazing. I mean, the weather here in eastern Pennsylvania has just been great. This is, of course, the Stronghold Digital Mining daily update. My name's Steven Zeiner. You know, when I was out there today, I was on my mountain bike, and it was a pretty challenging trail, to say the least. I'd never been on this particular trail before, and I kept seeing some signage that described it as easy, and I thought to myself, wow, if this is easy, and I'm in pretty good shape, I wonder what hard looks like. So it got me thinking, though, you know, this difference between an easy path and a hard path. There are a lot of people sometimes, for perfectly understandable reasons, who will find a company that's wildly successful. And they'll say to themselves, you know what? If I get a job at this company, I've pretty much got it made. As long as I don't mess anything up, annoy anyone too much, take too much risk, I just kind of play it safe, kind of go under the radar, I've got it made. And they're attracted to the company because it's wildly successful, everybody's heard about it, right? And yeah, it's pretty much easy going. And then there are those who will look at a company and say, you know, this company definitely isn't as successful as it could be. It's not as well known as a bunch of other companies. But that's the reason why I want to go work there. See, I want to try to help make it successful. I want to play a constructive role in making this business be something to be proud of, right? Something that becomes a household name, or something that is successful, right? Lives into its full potential as a business. And when I think about my motives for kind of getting involved the way that I have with this one particular publicly traded Bitcoin mining company called Stronghold Digital Mining, I'm hard pressed to believe that I chose to get involved with this company because it was some staggering success that everybody knew about. You know, hey man, you start creating content about this company that everybody loves, everybody talks about, right? It's super successful. Hey man, you play your cards right, you've got it made, right? You'll be some kind of popular YouTuber. I don't think that's really the case here. I did not start creating content because I had an interest in being some kind of popular YouTuber or a YouTuber at all. I saw in this company tremendous potential. I saw in Stronghold Digital Mining a company that was largely composed of members of my own community. When I think about Scrubgrass, when I think about Panther Creek, when I think about the people who built these purpose-built waste coal reclamation facilities, I'm really thinking about members of my own community. When I think about the people who work there now, these are members of my own community. I want to see my community succeed. I want there to be jobs that pay well, right? I want there to be, opportunities for the next generation. I very much want to see our local communities be cleaned up of these toxic gob piles and toxic culm piles. And Stronghold Digital Mining is doing that. And what's helping to enable all of that environmental work, what's helping to produce and maintain these jobs is Bitcoin. So I didn't embark on this journey because Stronghold was some tremendous success. I embarked on this journey because I also want to play a small role in helping to make this company successful. Just as everybody else who goes to work every single day to do their job, to help make progress with the business, I thought, what can I do to maybe try to help out a bit? And what I came up with was this. Maybe I can talk about what we're doing. Maybe I can really have a conversation with people around the world about what this one particular publicly traded Bitcoin mining company is doing for my community in terms of jobs, in terms of opportunity, in terms of environmental cleanup. And that gives me great pride, because long after, the bull market has come and gone, I live here, I want to see these purpose-built facilities do what they were intended to do, to clean up waste coal piles throughout the state of Pennsylvania. And then after that, once that mission is accomplished, then who knows, right? But I'll tell you something, that's a tremendous accomplishment. And I think it's something that's achievable in my lifetime. It's not like there's an infinite amount of this garbage, strewn throughout the state of Pennsylvania. Thankfully, right? So this brings up a very natural question that, again, I get asked all the time, which is, what really ultimately motivates you to do this, right? You're not getting paid to do this. It's not like I'm being issued stock options to do this, right? It's not like I'm on the payroll. I'll be the first to tell you if that changes, but as of right now, that's not the case. That's not my motivation. It never was. My motivation is to really see this company succeed, because ultimately what I'm really saying is I want to see my community succeed, I'm very proud to be from Pennsylvania. I genuinely love this state. This should not be controversial. What Stronghold Digital Mining is doing should not be controversial. So this is all by way of saying the following. I know that lately I've really been zooming in on topics and issues that pertain to environmental issues here in Pennsylvania that involve, supporting local communities, the whole topic of jobs for the local communities as well. I recognize that, you, like I, like all of us really, right? The one thing that we definitely have in common, regardless of our geographic location, wherever we happen to live, the one thing we do have in common is, as co-owners of the business, as shareholders of this business, we have an interest in seeing the stock price do well. And there are a lot of voices out there that would seek to discourage you, that would seek to diminish the relevance of your ownership interest in this business. There are a lot of other publicly traded mining companies out there, publicly traded Bitcoin mining companies out there. You have to decide ultimately if you want to be part of this team, Team Stronghold, right? Or if you want to be on some other team. I don't really have a choice, because I'm from this community. I'm from this state. I'm clicked up with Stronghold Digital Mining. Okay, this is the vehicle that I have chosen to express my bullishness on Bitcoin as it relates to, the angle of, hey, what kind of publicly traded Bitcoin mining company do you want to maybe have an investment in? Look, I've made my choice. It's Stronghold. It's Stronghold today. Okay, it was Stronghold yesterday, and it's going to be Stronghold tomorrow. I'm not going to be dissuaded from that. I live here. I believe in what we're doing. Now, that being said, I think going forward, I would like to change up the topic a bit, right? And focus a bit more on the stock price, focus a bit more on operations. I know that I've gotten really, really kind of hyper-focused on some very local issues which aren't necessarily as relevant, right? If you're just saying, hey man, I want the stock price to go up. I hear you. Okay? But I think it's also important that those in my community, some of whom even work at these purpose-built, waste coal reclamation facilities, I think it's important that I speak directly to you as well, and to sort of reinforce what I think we all intuitively know, but that it's kind of nice to be reminded of, right? Which is, hey, we're really fighting for our economic future here, right? I mean, if you're drawing a paycheck from the company, that's a big deal, okay? It's a really, 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 really big deal, because unless you want to drive another hour and a half to, go to work somewhere, right? I mean, sometimes it's really nice to have a very decent paying job not that far from home. So we're, it's a fight for our economic survival, right? If you're from a local area here and you work at one of the plants, you can't let yourself get caught up in the idea, hey, there's all these, hedge funds and, private equity and this or that. Look, at the end of the day, you got to focus on like what we're doing, right? Hey, what's my job? What am I going to do? Hey, this company's not going to fail because of me, right? You got to have that mentality. Like, look, I got to just go out there, do the best I can. It's very tough sometimes to do that, though, understandably, when it can feel like, people are coming at us from all angles. You get some really well-intended environmental groups who, like me, care about the environment, like you care about the environment. And sometimes we don't quite see eye to eye with some of these groups who are members of our community as well. I ascribe no ill will to them. I think it's just sometimes like a little bit of a misunderstanding as to what we're doing. Maybe a bit of a disconnect between, hey, what's pragmatic, what's reasonable, and what's utopian, and, like this quest for perfection, which I've admitted I can be very utopian. I can sometimes get hung up on, hey, we got to find the perfect answer. But you know what? This is a damn good answer. And it's good enough. It's good enough. It really is. It's been working. Can it work even better? Maybe. Probably. And that's something we're going to have to discover as resources come into the business. Look, at this point, we're at the precipice. And I'm going to zoom out now. I'm just talking to you, the individual shareholder, co-owner of the business, regardless of where you may happen to live on planet Earth, okay? It's becoming pretty clear that I think we're going to start heading into another Bitcoin bull market, right? At least that's the sense that many of us are getting, all right? It's going to be imperative for all of us who have been, if we've been on this journey this far, okay, if you're somebody who's been, stacking shares of Stronghold Digital Mining for the past 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, whatever the case may be, maybe a year, this is it. I think the hard part of the journey, knock on wood, not trying to jinx anything, I think the hard part of the journey is probably behind us. That's not to say that there's not going to be some treacherous turns and curves, right, as we go forward here. And it's not to suggest that we're not going to have, some of those moments where it's like, whoa, oh man, that was kind of intense. We're going to probably have those moments. But I sense, based on what we're starting to see in terms of a sentiment shift as it relates to Bitcoin, as it relates, right, to some degree to the entire publicly traded Bitcoin mining ecosystem, I think the worst might potentially be over. Now, I know that there's going to be someone out there that's like, hey man, but the halving is coming up. Like, what do you mean the worst is behind us? Like, probably the most dangerous and challenging and just gruesomely difficult part of the journey is right in front of us. And that would be true in an environment where a halving occurs and the price of Bitcoin stays the same or goes down. Maybe not quite so true if we're starting to see the price of Bitcoin accelerate, not by a couple $1,000s, but by maybe $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, like that type of strong move. Oh man, that sounds impossible. With Bitcoin, give me a break. We both know that Bitcoin can make some incredibly wild moves. And the potential exists for some macroeconomic events to take place that can really turbocharge Bitcoin, like in ways that I don't know are even imaginable as we have this conversation today. All right, so today has been Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. This has been the Stronghold Digital Mining Daily Update. Not much of an operational update, not much of an update about the stock price, at least not today. I just wanted to, I think, sort of like conclude the conversations that have been taking place lately that are really hyper-focused on local issues, local environmental issues, and to sort of signify, okay, going forward, we're going to start talking a lot more about the stock price, about operations, but definitely the stock price. What is it going to take for this stock to go up? Now, a lot of people say, oh, it's dilution, man, it's dilution. Okay, send an email to the analyst at H.C. Wainwright that covers Stronghold Digital Mining and ask, hey, have you taken dilution into consideration when assigning a stock price target of what, $20 a share? I mean, these are professionals. These are people who do this vocationally. Okay, these aren't amateurs. These aren't people who are just kind of doing it for fun. They do it as a vocational endeavor, right? This is their professional calling in life, right? So what I'm trying to say is, let's not be too simplistic in just pointing at dilution, because there are obviously a lot of analysts and people who are looking at the situation from a lot of different angles who have assigned stock price targets that obviously take into consideration the issue of, hey, how much dilution has taken place, right? So with that said, let's stay positive. Let's be great. We're going to see each other again tomorrow.